I'm Dr. Ushna Naveed, a co-founder of Derm online platform. This is a platform in which you can have whole of your books revision, or if you are a beginner, you are starting your PG training, or you are preparing for your exam of the dermatology, you can have a quick revision of the rooks in a 4 months duration. This is a paid session, and me and my partner Dr. Anam that cover whole of the rooks in about 4 months. We have a quick session of MCQ revision as well. Before exam crash course is also available. So whatever you need for your exam preparation, that is available on the Derm online platform. Whatever information that you require for your exam, you can just comment on a comment section, and I will reach out to you. So in this session, we are talking about the psoriasis histology. Okay. So whenever we talk about the psoriasis, psoriasis is very, very important for your exam, dermatology exam. Being a PG, you cannot ignore the psoriasis topic. If we just talk about the psoriasis, that what are the histological features of the psoriasis? This is a normal skin. Remember, this is a normal portion of the skin, and this is something related to your lesion of the skin. If you are not aware of histology, you have zero knowledge about the histology, you are just a beginner, then by looking at two slides, you can make the differences that something is wrong here, and that is not comparable with the normal slide. Something is not, you can see a very large structures are here which are not present in the normal skin. So we are able to identify something is wrong in our lesion portion. Okay, what is wrong? Really, you have to look into the detail of that portion. So this is a detailed slide of your histological portion of psoriasis, which exactly comes in your exam. This is a microscopic view. And if you have a look at the picture and you do not know about the basics of histology, you will be so confused that what are the structures, how to approach the slides of the histology. So don't worry, we are going to dissect it one by one. Okay. So whenever you are discussing about the histology, always try to start in a systematic approach from head to toe. Like you just see a patient from the head to toe, you have to see the slide from the head to toe. So we have a basic layer of skin. We have epidermis, then we have dermis, then we have subcutaneous tissue. These are the basic layers of the skin. And being a dermatologist, you know that the epidermis has a 5 layers. So you can easily remember the layers of the epidermis by the mnemonic college, CLG. Okay. So corneum, lucidum, granulosum, and then spinosum and basal. This is a basic layer, basal, then college. Corneum, lucidum, granulosum, spinosum. This is the stepwise layers of your epidermis. While looking at the slide, you cannot ignore each of these layers. The layers are so important for your description of the findings of your histology. So first of all, have a look at the stratum corneum. What is you are able to see in the stratum corneum? We have normal cells in the stratum corneum, which is known as keratinocytes. In normal slides or normal skin, your keratinocytes are so beautifully arranged. They do not have nuclei in most of the cells, because whenever the keratinocytes goes in the upward layer, they shed their nuclei. So at the topmost layer in the stratum corneum, our keratinocytes are devoid of nucleus. That is known as orthokeratosis. Orthokeratosis mean your cells do not have nucleus or absent. So absent nuclei in a normal phenomena. But what happens in psoriasis? In psoriasis, there is a repetitive division of the cells, and there is increased shedding of the stratum corneum. They do not have time to shed that nucleus. So whatever the cells you are finding in the stratum corneum, they are retaining the nuclei. So stratum corneum, they will retain nuclei, and the term is known as parakeratosis. Para mean retaining nuclei. They have the nuclei. They are poured with the nuclei. So parakeratosis, just having a look at the stratum corneum, you have all the keratinocytes that are having so much nucleus in their each cell. So parakeratosis, this is the very, very first observation you have on your psoriasis slide. Clinically, you correlate with the parakeratosis. This will be looked as scale. And the psoriasis plaques are just full of thick scaled silvery white scales. This is histological definition of parakeratosis. Then you have a very, very important feature in the stratum corneum, that you are having collection of the neutrophils. This small bundle of collections, this is known as microabscesses. Okay. And the stratum corneum microabscesses is known as Munro microabscesses. This is a very important feature of your psoriasis, second most important feature. Then if you move in a downward manner, next important finding, you are able to see, you are going to have Stratum corneum parakeratosis, first of all, Munro microabscesses, that is also present in stratum corneum. These are basically neutrophil collection. You know, neutrophil have 3, 4 nucleus. So these are trilobed. This is how your like just like a ant, smashed ant's appearance. This is your Munro's microabscesses, just like a smashed ants. Then when you see in your this layer immediately below your corneum is lucidum. Lucidum is only present in the palms and soles. Normally, normal skin do not have lucidum. So lucidum out. After that, you should have granulosum. Granulosum is a normal layer. You should have a very beautiful small granules here arranged in a basal layer. So we are not able to see that granular layer in the psoriasis. So one important feature of the psoriasis is loss of the granular layer. You are going to have parakeratosis, you are going to have Munro microabscesses, and the loss of granular layer. Immediately after that granular layer, you are able to see that this is acanthosis, spinosum. Spinosum is so large, and this rete ridges is in the form of club shaped. This long projections are club shaped rete ridges, like a sandwich, like a very even growth of the rete ridges, irregular rete ridges. So these are the club shaped rete ridges, which is again a very marked feature of your psoriasis. And along with rete ridges, you are have these proliferated capillaries. See, all the capillaries are so prominent. This is known as dilated proliferated capillaries. So if we just combine the things together, whatever we have learned so far, you are having parakeratosis, retained nuclei in the stratum corneum. In the same stratum corneum, you are going to have microabscesses, which is the collection of neutrophils. If this collection of neutrophils is present deeper in the stratum spinosum, you called it as spongiform pustule of Kogoch. So that Munro microabscesses is in cornea, and spongiform pustule of Kogoch is in your spinosum. So we have two collections. We have retained nuclei, very important. We have loss of granular layer, and we have very beautiful rete ridges. These are all clubbed shaped rete ridges. We are able to see that hyperkeratosis is parakeratosis. Your spongiform pustules is Kogoch is collection in the stratum spinosum. Your Munro microabscesses is collection in the stratum corneum, and you have dilated blood vessel. One very important feature of psoriasis when you see clinically, that is known as Auspit sign. Okay, and you all know what is Auspit sign. When you try to scratch the lesion of the psoriasis, there is going to be a pinpoint bleeding. Why there is a bleeding? Because there is a dilated capillaries. There is going to be suprapapillary thinning. This is all your papilla. These are small rete ridges papilla, and whenever you have a papilla above the layer, this is a thinning of the epidermis, because there is a thinning of epidermis. When you try to scratch the scale and thinning of epidermis, you will have dilated capillaries beneath, and they will start bleeding. So you will going to have pinpoint bleeding here in suprapapillary area due to that suprapapillary thinning. So if you put all the things together again as a revision, that what you are going to have in your psoriasis histopathology, first of all, see at the stratum corneum, you are going to have parakeratosis. Parakeratosis means you are going to have retained nuclei, which was not normally in the stratum corneum. This happens because the keratinocytes are moving too quickly. Now you are going to have parakeratosis. Next important thing, you are not able to see granular layer. Either you are just having a very thin granular layer, or you are not able to see granular layer at all. So this is very important, loss of granular layer. Then you are having collection of the neutrophils. In the stratum corneum, there are Munro microabscesses, and in the spinosum, the same collections is your spongiform pustule of Kogoch. Then you have a very regular acanthosis in the form of club-shaped rete ridges, or you can say test tubes in a rack appearance, like you have put the test tubes in the rack. So this is club-shaped rete ridges like this, regular acanthosis. And then a very important part which you see clinically, Auspit sign, is seen histologically as a suprapapillary thinning. So these are all very important features of your psoriasis histology. Next important thing is dilated capillaries. We have just discussed that the capillaries are enlarged, tortuous. They are seen in the papillary dermis. You have dilated capillaries, and at the last, you are going to have lymphocytic infiltrate mixed with the neutrophils that migrate upwards and downwards into the epidermis. So this is how you are going to learn about psoriasis histopathology. That is so easy to remember, and this is a very high yield topic for your exam. So just a quick revision, you are going to have 5 big findings of your psoriasis histology in the exam. Parakeratosis, which is clinically seen as a scaling. You are going to have loss of granular layer. You are going to have Munro microabscesses, which is basically a collection of the neutrophils in the stratum corneum. Okay, just a superficial portion. Then you have regular acanthosis. This is extremely important. Regular one, club shaped rete, and you are going to have dilated capillaries. So these are all very, very important features of psoriasis. Even still, if you're not able to remember all these features, have a visual mnemonic, okay? Because mnemonics help you to retain information so clearly that you just remember P-MAID, okay? P-MAID. So stepwise approach, you are having parakeratosis, you are having monomicroabscesses, acanthosis, which is regular one, increase dilated capillaries, and decrease granular layer. This is all P-MAID finding. And if you correlate to histological slide, parakeratosis retained nuclei, loss of granular layer, Munro microabscesses. This is all acanthosis, which is a spinosum collection, enlargement of the spinosum layer. Regular acanthosis rete, these are club-shaped rete, and you have prominent dilated capillaries. So all the things you can have in psoriasis histology that has been covered in this video. So if you like this video, you can comment in the section whatever next topic you want to learn about, or you can just subscribe the channel, or if you want to join the complete course for your Rooks cover or the exam preparation, this is a platform, Derm Online. You can email me or you can comment into the comment section for any assistance you want. Thank you so much.